my sister. She's always been the apple of my parents' eyes, and kind of the best one in their graces. However, I have a story for y'all. It turns out that I am actually going to get married before my sister, which newsflash, nobody in my family would see this one coming. But luckily, Sergio, this man that I've met, he's amazing and he makes me so happy. Well, my sister has the nerve to say, well, let's see how long you last with this one since no man wants to stay with you because you get bored easily. Well, guess what? I found out her deep, dark secret, and no one knows about it except for her significant other who, by the way, broke up with her over this and totally blocked our entire family, and I'm going to expose why.
My family does not really believe that I'm getting married after dating someone for 3 months, and I really need them to understand and accept this. To be fair, I get why my family's concerned about me. They think that I'm rushing into marriage and that I don't really know my fiancé. I've tried telling them and explaining to them, but they don't get it, and they think that it's just a phase. Because of that, they're dragging their feet when it comes to preparing for my wedding, and I don't know what to do. It's just that my relationships do not always last that long, and my family's tired of me introducing so many different people to them. My father told me, not in a mean way, but it kind of hurt. Let me give you all the details so that you can understand where I'm coming from and maybe help me. I'm 29 years old and I've never been married and I don't have kids. I started dating in my teenage years, but my relationship never lasted. I'm a person who really loves love. I wanted to find my Prince Charming and get married to him and have a white picket fence. With, the kids and the pets and whatnot. It's the basic cliche thing, and I don't care too much about looks and finances. I've always wanted someone who will treat me well. Unfortunately for me, I've never gotten that. I've always thought that maybe I was cursed, and that's why I never found someone who could last. Sometimes they were the problem, and sometimes I was. My family could never keep up with my relationships, and they knew that every time there was a family event and I came with a +1, it would be different. My parents are very traditional and conservative. They tried to raise my sister and me in that way. My sister was the perfect daughter. She listened to everything they told her, and she's been in a relationship with her fiancé for 5 years now, and they're supposed to be getting married soon. Correction. They were, but something seems to have happened which I'll come back to soon. My mother and father have spoken to me several times and told me that I should try to stick with one person, whom the family will know that I can start a family with one day. Trust me, I've been wanting to. But it's not my fault that the guys I've dated have treated me like I'm simply not worthy of a relationship. I thought I was the problem several times, even going months without dating, but it's never helped. But it has helped me write great songs, and in addition to my job, I ghostwrite lyrics. I've been doing it for years, and it's great passive income, and it does help me express myself because there's always something new to write about. I've thought of myself as a less famous Taylor Swift, and resigned myself to the fact that I, quote, love, but it does not love me back. But it appeared that I made that conclusion far too soon. For 3 months ago, I got into a relationship. The guy that I got into a relationship with is someone that I've known for years, but I've never been friends with. In fact, I slightly disliked him. We work in the same department at work, and we've only ever talked about work. His name is Sergio, and I thought he was the most boring person in my department. He's never laughed, never made jokes with anybody. He's always just worked and kept things very professional. He struck me as super ambitious to the point of being arrogant. I felt that he would take any opportunity to excel, even if he could throw someone else under the bus, but oh boy, I was wrong. It happened that I had a terrible week and had been having a hard time concentrating at work. He'd been sending me revisions I needed to make for several days, which was only adding to my stress. One day, I just started crying in my office because I thought everything was a mess and I was going to lose my job. I knew he was going to report me, for I had been making mistakes literally all week. He came to my office during a lunch break, and I thought that he was about to scold me. He told me that he was unhappy with my quality of work, that week, but he had noticed that I was not my usual chirpy self, and he offered to take me out for coffee and we could discuss how to fix the situation at work. So, we did. We discussed everything, and he offered to help me. He was so good at explaining things. Not arrogant like I thought he was, and he offered to help me out on the weekend. So, on Friday night, I packed my things and went to his house. We had a very productive weekend, and after that, we were much more casual with each other. It's a long story of how we even began dating, but I realized that I liked him, so I asked him out. He agreed, to my surprise, and everything went quickly after that, and soon we were signing the HR forms. People were very shocked about our relationship, as it was the last thing that they thought would happen. I was happy. It was different from all the other relationships. I did not feel the need to constantly prove myself. I felt respected and loved, and he appreciated the simpler things in life, and I learned to as well. I helped him get out of his shell and show everyone just how amazing he was, and soon he did not find it that hard to connect with people. When he asked me to get married to him after only 2 months, I said yes. I told my family and they got to meet him, and when they saw him, they did not say anything. They were polite. But after he left, they told me they thought it was too soon. I told them that he was different from the other ones and I needed them to get to know him and give him a chance. They said fine, but they needed me to not rush into getting married. So, for the past month, we've been spending time with my family. He's not that extroverted, but they're massive extroverts. Most of the people in my family come from art backgrounds, so they are very expressive. They love partaking in adventurous activities, and he hates that kind of stuff, but partakes just to make me happy. But I hate making him do all this, jumping through all these hoops because my family feels that he, quote, has to earn me. I know that I've made some very stupid decisions when it comes to love, but I don't know that he's not a mistake. I've often read that when you meet your soulmate, you're supposed to feel great peace, and the butterflies are not always an indicator that somebody's good for you. When I'm with him, I just feel great and at peace. I'm highly functioning, and I want to eat healthy and have a balanced life. I'm content with what we have, and I'm content with him. That feeling of there being something missing is not there. I know that we have not been together for a long time, but I've known him for over 4 years, you know. I've interacted with him and seen different sides to him, even though I did not like him. This is what makes our connection better. The fact that we were right in front of each other for so long, but we did not see it. Now, we don't want to waste any time. We've done some counseling with my parents' priest to determine if we're ready, and it's been going pretty well. Even he says that he does not see why we cannot get married. So, I've started prepping. The only thing that my family is not taking me seriously. When I ask them for advice or tell them that I want to book a venue, they tell me it's simply too soon and that I need the perfect venue. They're dragging their feet and it's getting very annoying. I love my family and I love him. I want to get married as soon as possible, and I don't know. What do you think I can do to make them understand how important this is to me? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Today's updates are absolutely wild. The first update is a small one, but it comes out 6 months after the original post, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, sit back, relax with your favorite beverage, because we have some wild updates coming. If you guys are new to the channel, just take a second, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a daily video, and let's jump into the first update. Hey everyone, just a quick update on the situation. My fiancé and I will be getting married in a few weeks. We're still going strong and my family has warmed up to him a bit more. There's only one thing, and it pains me to say this. My sister's fiancé has called off the wedding and she does not want to open up to me about why. Several months ago, I noticed that they seemed a bit more distant. She told me that they were on a break and that I could not tell anyone, so I did not. But 5 months ago, she sent a message to the family group saying that the wedding was canceled. When asked why, she said that she needed to find herself, which, by the way, guys, is nonsense. I know my sister, and she's someone who is very self-aware. She may only be 2 years older than me, but she has her life together way more than I do. Over the past few months, she's kept to herself and I've given her space so that she can heal. She seems to have started to get better and socialize more as well as to participate in my wedding prep. It appears that all I needed was to be patient and allow them all the time just to get to know each other, and now my family really likes him and they're on board with the wedding. Everything is definitely ready for next month. I'm very confident in my decision, and I know that I want to spend my life with Sergio. I've just been under a lot of stress, which has nothing to do with my wedding. I know that my sister says that she's okay, but I know she's hiding something. I've been speaking to her, probing about her and her ex. She's shown that she blames herself, but I don't know why. Her fiancé appeared to have moved on, not with another woman, but in life. He just does not speak to any of us, and he's blocked us. When we tried to reach out, he blocked us. So she told us to stop trying to talk to him, so I guess I've just decided to respect her wishes. I just feel bad that I'm getting married and she's not anymore. They'd been planning this wedding for a long time, and it's just that they faced financial difficulty as well as other challenges which have always led to the wedding being postponed. But I've always held out hope that she will get married because she deserves it. My sister has always been good, and she's always been kind and fair. I mean, yeah, she has her flaws, but she does not deserve to be left without an explanation. I'm just hoping that she'll heal her heart and find somebody who will love her as she deserves. Update number 2, titled, After the Wedding. Hey everyone, I just wanted you all to know that 3 days ago, Sergio and I got married. It was a beautiful wedding, where both our families and friends joined us in celebration. Everything was perfect, except for one thing, the speech that my sister gave. I could have expected this jealousy from anyone else, even my own best friend, because, well, I expected it from her. But I guess she's better at acting than I thought. All those good things that I've said about her in my previous updates might not actually be true. For I found out that my sister is a hypocrite, and maybe her fiancé was right in breaking off the engagement. When it was time for her speech, she said the usual kind words that everyone said, but it was how she ended her speech that left me with a bitter taste in my mouth. I wanted to keep quiet and say nothing, but she said some stuff afterward, which made me realize that she did intend to make a joke out of my marriage, and that she's bitter because I got married first, even though she is my older sister. So basically, she ended the speech off with, "I hope this one lasts." She got a few chuckles, but everybody's faces changed after she said that, and I don't know, I felt my face losing color, and I felt a sharp pain in my heart. She hurt my feelings and his feelings as well, and we just gave each other a look. Then the MC took over and said some things, and people moved on and got over it, and my sister went to sit down. She did not notice that I was staring daggers at her and wanted to ask her what was up with that speech of hers. Hours later, we were at the after party, and I was having a conversation with her, my mom, and a cousin of ours. I'd forgotten all that she said, but then she said these words. "You know, I never thought you would settle down, but hey, God has his favorites." "What do you mean?" I asked. Just that I hope this marriage lasts. We all know you're not the marriage type. You get bored. Just like your fiancé of 2 years and boyfriend of 5 years got bored of you, huh? Amanda! My mother gave me a dirty look and I just shrugged. She started it first, you know. If she could not take it, then she did not have to dish it out. What? You heard what she said? Both of you are out of line, my mother said, and the room had suddenly gone quiet and I wondered why there was no more music playing. I will not apologize for her insulting my marriage. Despite what you may think, I will not fail at it. In fact, all of you are expecting me to fail. How do you think I feel? I was on the verge of tears now, but then Steffi beat me to it with her big old crocodile tears. She hugged Mom and she starts crying, and my mom gave me a very disappointed look. I could not believe that she was taking her side. To be fair, my sister knew why this was a sensitive topic for me, and it hurt me for so long that no one wanted to commit to me. Her saying that was like her cursing my marriage not to last, and I don't understand why she would do that to me when she had 5 years of a good and healthy relationship. I don't know what happened for her fiancé to leave her, but it was clearly bad. I got confirmation of this from my mom a couple of minutes later, and I quote you guys this. The topic of her fiancé is still very raw for her. I did not want to ruin your wedding planning, but your sister has not been coping well with the breakup. But why did they break up? Well, I can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? I'm her sister. I deserve to know. Please, honey, just go apologize to her. Well, how about this? I can, if she'll apologize for what she said. I was not going to budge, guys. My mom told me that my sister was just joking and did not mean it. What I said, on the other hand, was a personal attack over something which still pained her. Can you believe that, as always, my mother was taking her side? So, I decided to say sorry, but I did not mean it. I've decided to put a distance between my sister and me, and I don't want her anywhere near my marriage. I'm curious, though, about what it is that she said. No one else but my mother seems to know it, and she will not budge. Another option would be to ask her fiancé, but he does not want to talk to any of us. All in all, she ruined part of the wedding with that comment, and obviously my fiancé knows my past, but his family doesn't. We decided that they did not need to know because we did not want to treat me differently. Now, instead of enjoying my week-long honeymoon, I'm stressing about what my mother-in-law asked me. She asked me to explain to her what my sister meant. If it meant that I've been married before. I told her no, it's nothing serious, and I have not been married. So, she asked to see me when we get back from the honeymoon, and it's clear that I'm not thrilled by that request. I did not want to tell my mother-in-law about my dating history because I know she's going to judge me, and will simply not respect me anymore. I mean, yeah, I have a past. A very painful past which I want to put behind me so that I can have a happy marriage with Sergio. But now, because she was, quote, emotional, or feeling weird about me getting married first, my big mouth sister might as well have ruined my marriage before it even started. Update number 2. 2 months later. I wish I could say that in these 2 months things have gotten better, but they have not. In fact, they've continued on to become even more confusing. After my honeymoon, I had a conversation with my mother-in-law. She made it clear that she did not trust me and that she was just waiting for her son to get tired of me. She felt he deserved to be with a better woman who would help him build a life, not do what I do. I did not get what that came from because my husband and I were planning for the future. We have no intention of breaking up. Nonetheless, my mother-in-law absolutely hates me, and when I have to be in her presence, I find that it's much easier to hide for her and to keep quiet. She shows her dislike of me, and she does not even try to hide it. I don't complain to my husband because I don't want him to have to choose between me and his mom. My sister has continued to act holier than thou, and she had recently had to move back to our parents' house because her lease ended, and she did not have money for a new place. I have to go there when she's at work due to her terrible attitude, and it does not make it any better that when my husband and I were shopping the other day, we ran into her ex. I greeted him, but he did not greet us back. I thought nothing of it and just continued shopping, and while I was waiting to pay, I asked Sergio to please go get some olive oil, which it seems I've forgotten. He came back moments later, and it looked like his mood had changed drastically. Right behind him was Cliff, who was giving me a nasty look, and I just did not get it, so I resolved to ask my husband when we got home.
"Oh, it's nothing, honey. Don't worry about it."
"What do you mean, don't worry about it?"
By the way, I want us to, how do I say this, sign a postnuptial agreement.
He dropped a bombshell on me. Why?
Well, after what your sister did to Cliff, how do I know that you won't do the same to me? I mean, I know that I love you, but I just have to think logically about this so that I can protect myself, you know.
I told him that I understood what he meant, but he was being very vague. Did this have to do with my sister and her ex-fiancé breaking up? What was it that was so bad that he decided to just leave her after they have been together for years? Sergio seemed to understand that I really did not know what my sister did after I insisted several times. He apologized for the way that he had reacted and told me that what Cliff told him had scared him. My sister wanted to elope with Cliff, and before the official wedding, her reason was that she was tired of waiting and did not want to spend money on the wedding. At first, he did not agree because even though he loved her, even he knew that both families were not going to be supportive of it. This was when the problems in their relationship started and they appeared to be on break. Finally, after trying to persuade him, she succeeded and they decided to just have a court wedding, and they agreed to have both me and her brother as witnesses and then tell their parents later. But it never got to that point because, well, she left me a letter to read explaining what was going to happen and told me where to meet.
Unfortunately, I never saw the letter. Who even opens their mail these days? I mean, it's full of spam.
I remember that she was quite secretive in those days and cryptic, but I did not understand what she meant, and that must have been why she was so upset with me at the wedding.
But why did he decide that he did not want to go ahead and marry her?
He found out that she was in debt and tried to marry him quickly so that she could have better access to his money and sort out the debt. Not only that, but she had never started properly planning the wedding because she spent most of their money. That's right. Eloping was her way of distracting him and not having to answer him about the money that she stole. I had to say she was craftier than I thought. When he found out that she was in debt and her plan was to put him in debt as well, he lost it and absolutely broke up with her on the spot and blocked our family,
thinking that we were in on it.
Mother must have known about the eloping, but did she know about the debt too? Now that I think about it, she said she could not live in her apartment because the lease expired. But what if it was because she could simply not afford the rent? What I don't get is how could she spend all the money? I mean, come on! I've never seen her excessively spending, so what is it that she was using the money to the point where she got into debt and lost her fiancé? Those are the questions I have after what my husband told me. He also told me that Cliff warned him to be careful with me, so that I would not do what she had done to him. I knew that his mother was already talking crap about me, but now Cliff made things way worse and made him doubt me. I assured him that I love him, and only him. Money doesn't matter. I'm willing to sign any postnuptial agreement if only to make the naysayers shut up and mind their own darn beeswax. Updates. 2 weeks later. Guys, so much has happened over the past 2 weeks that I'm still reeling. My sister's situation has worsened and now it's clear that she has a really bad problem. You see, my parents have always treated me like I had a huge problem and that I needed some sort of help because I cannot keep a man, but she has some serious problems. Maybe if they were not so focused on my love life, they would have noticed that my sister has a serious problem. The next day, after I found out what she did to Cliff, I organized a meeting with him and my mom. It took some convincing for him to agree to see us both, but he came, and he explained the whole story to her, and she told us what she knew. She said that she only knew that Cliff did not want to elope, and had accused my sister of trying to trap him with a child. My mom says that she said, well, he accused her of that out of the blue and told her that they were over, but this was a lie. She told Mom that so that she could hide her problem from Mother. Mom could not believe that her golden daughter had problems managing finances even though Cliff could testify to it, so I called the owner of her apartment and asked him why she left. He said she had not paid rent in over 3 months and she kept on making excuses after excuses. Mom told me that she needed time to tell Dad that we would see how we were going to fix this, and I was in agreement with this and was just glad to finally know the truth. The next day, there was a family meeting. It was only our parents and Steffi who were present. We confronted her about it, and at first she tried to deny it, but as we kept on insisting, she became less sure of herself, which was when she started to cry. I tried as much as I could to console her, but she pushed me away. "Stop it. It's all your fault." Well, I was confused as I'm not the one who told her to steal the money, and I asked how. "I just want to be more like you. All I am is plain Jane." She shocked me. My sister is not plain Jane at all. She's beautiful. But apparently she did not feel beautiful, and she felt that I was beautiful, which is why I always got dates. She told me that more than once when we were teenagers, I stole guys that she had a crush on. Everyone always used to compliment my looks while they sidelined her. Even in adulthood, I was the good-looking one when all the people used to describe her as, well, being the nice one. So, she had been quoted by a surgeon for about $200,000 for an entire full-body surgery which would have her looking very beautiful. I asked her if she was crazy to fork out that amount of money for plastic surgery, and she told me that the surgeon was a celebrity surgeon, you know, and his work was the best, and she wanted the best. "Cliff was going to marry you the way you were." "Oh, I've been wanting to leave him for a while. I wanted someone better. But when I lost him, I realized I wanted no one else. I wanted him." So there you have it. She put herself into this mess because she was jealous. And that is strange because I've always been jealous of her because she has it all together. She has not had to deal with the rejection which I had, the self-esteem issues that came with it too. I explained to her once we were all alone, and she kind of understood. She also explained that when she said, "I hope this one lasts," she was trying to make me feel very bad. She blamed me for taking out those loans just to have surgery, and you might be wondering if she ever got it done. The answer is no. She was already in too much debt before she found out that she had been corresponding with a scammer, a catfish. The real doctor did exist, he just had never met her before, and this is why she panicked and tried to elope, and we ended up here. It was a lot to take in. Our parents were furious at her for her actions, and they told her to find a place to stay. As for myself, I'm deeply disappointed in her lies, and I feel like I don't even know her. I've already gotten too involved. I must sign the postnuptial agreement soon because my mother-in-law simply can't wait. Maybe, after that, I'll see what to do with her. Hey guys, Mr. Redito here. I just want to let you know I did find a mini last update. It's only 2 paragraphs and it was in the comment section, but apparently it came out a month after the final post you just heard. So let's go ahead and jump into the final update before we dive into the comments. Hey guys, it's been about a month and I've signed the agreement. Both our assets are protected by anything that we require together will be divided equally in the unlikely event that we divorce. In addition, I've managed to get my sister some debt counseling, so now she'll be able to get help with her problem. She has also started to move on from her failed relationship, trying to rebuild herself after the breakup. It will take her a while to pay everything off, but hey, hopefully after she does, she will have learned her lesson and things between us are awkward, but they're better than between her and our parents who still have not forgiven her, you know. I've tried to reason with them, but they say that they do not recognize the shallow person that she's become. She and I barely ever talk, so I don't know how she feels about them. I want to tell her to apologize, but I don't know if they would be willing to listen to her. As far as I know, she has not mentioned or talked to them since they kicked her out, and I hope one day they can finally sort their issues out.
So this story was just mind-boggling. I mean, OP went through so much, and it just turns out Steffi was so rude. I mean, she didn't have it easy at all, though. She lost $200,000, which wasn't even her money exactly. It was mainly her significant other's, just so she could have this false idea to look beautiful by having a full body makeover, but she ends up giving the money to a fake doctor. I mean, I had to even question, is this story legit? Because, wow, there was a lot to it. But let me know what exactly you guys are thinking. Let me know what the revenge of the story was. How do you think OP handled it? Do you think Steffi got what she deserved at the end by her parents cutting her off? I mean, there was just so much to this. Honestly, though, I think the person that suffered the most was Steffi's significant other. I mean, he just wanted no part of the family after this. He thought they were all in on it. But I would like to hear from you guys once again, so drop it in the comment section. Thank you for joining me on today's wild ride. I hope you enjoyed it. Plenty more videos to come. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, it's cool to be kind.